Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome all to another edition of Homie Picks. It's I, Jared, Lou, and Ben, three amigos. Fellas, how are y'all doing?
Playoffs is here, bro. The playoffs are here.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Exactly. Jim Moore, man. I don't want to relive that embarrassment we just went through.
Week 18 was super crazy. I mean, if anybody rolls back the tape, Ben did predict his team.
I told you.
No, you jinxed it. It's not a prediction. If you use the code, you jinxed it.
If I remember correctly, there's 7 straight road losses in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I think since 2014, bro. It's nuts. It's just like they just can't win over there.
That's insane.
That's what I was not confident of them going into that game at all. But
however, y'all should have never got your ass beat like that either.
No. That it was, like you just saw how the shortcomings of what Wentz really is, because they managed to hide it well throughout the year. He didn't really have to throw a lot, so he wasn't making a huge amount of mistakes. But the last couple of games, they were like, the run is not beating us, let Carson Wentz beat us. And he got lucky with the Arizona game. He had a decent game there, but it was just 200 yards. But then last game, he couldn't do anything. He got away with so many big mistakes in the year, and they just caught up to him. So I just feel like the QB move we made, it was what we needed to do at the moment, but it's just like a temporary thing, because he's not the answer.
I can agree. And also, to not be an answer, Joe Judge is not the answer apparently anymore. Joe Judge and Gettleman are gone from the Giants.
You know what? As a Giant fan, I would be hopeful that they grab Brian Flores.
Man, I'm praying for that. I am praying for that, but I want to see Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson in New York.
See, Deshaun Watson, though, it's just too many question marks. To be honest, like I wouldn't unless his off the field things get cleared up, I would have no trust in Deshaun Watson.
I think they're gonna clear that up. I think he wanted out of Texas, and I didn't think he didn't want to put his body through that. Like, yeah, his legal situation in the offseason, he will be available for trade come draft night. I guarantee it. Yeah, trade for him. Giants, make it happen.
I don't know.
Brian Flores wanted him originally. I think that's why Brian Flores isn't.
No, what I heard, the biggest disagreement between the GM and Brian Flores was the quarterback. He didn't want Tua. He wanted Herbert.
He wanted
Justin Herbert. And the GM said, "No, I'm taking Tua," and they took Tua, and that's why now I understand why there was that no confidence in him. He was play Tua, send him, bench him, put Fitzpatrick back, and I was like, damn, why did you take him? And now I get it. Like, now I understand. He didn't want him in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, and to his credit, even with him not wanting what he wanted,
he's still successful.
He made it work.
He still was a pretty good.
He still made it work.
That was the dumbest firing. It was two opposite sides of the spectrum. You got Brian Flores that didn't deserve to be fired, and then Joe Judge that did need to get fired. They got fired opposite days,
and it took way too long.
Way too long.
I mean, again, we don't know what's really real and not. Media says one thing, we don't know everything. There was reports that Joe Judge was supposed to be into the whole GM interviewing thing, like. They basically asked him, "Hey, do you know a guy?"
Right.
Like it's
what?
It took too long, to do the right thing. I did hear something, and it's a true statement. Everybody that thinks they're getting somebody from the Belichick-esque tree is not Bill Belichick. Right. Stop thinking they're Bill Belichick. You're not getting Belichick.
What they like to say, proximity to greatness doesn't equal greatness.
Exactly.
I mean, the only one that looks like got it right is the dude from Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Vrabel.
But hell, Vrabel didn't even coach under him. He just
exactly. He was just a player. He was a
And,
player.
and I think he coached in Ohio State, and he
Yeah.
got.
Well, I think he did 1 year as a linebackers coach, didn't he? Offensive line coach, 1
I
year with
think at
them.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I think.
I don't think he coached under Belichick. He
Yeah,
just
I think
played
it
for
was
him.
somebody else that coached him as linebackers coach.
I mean, I think Flores was the one with the most success
What's the
of
dude?
recent.
Jared Mayo. Jared Mayo did that.
Mm.
But Jared Mayo's there now, and he's interviewing for.
Everybody
Chicago?
thinks he's going to be the next Belichick. Not stop doing Belichick people. They're not Belichick people. Stop it. Let's cut the cap.
I mean, the name gets you an interview though, so shout out to that.
That's true. That's true. The same thing
That's
like
true,
the
man.
Parcells thing. It's the same thing as the Parcells tree.
You know what? That's become also McVay. Like, you look at Staley in San Diego. I'm sorry, Los Angeles. He got the job basically because McVay, and so did Nagy. Nagy got the job out of McVay. So his coaching tree is not the greatest either right now, and people still seem to want to pluck from him.
But I mean, and we went with your team, went to Lou's team, my team. That was, Tyler Huntley showed why he's a backup. In small spurts, you're like, oh damn, this dude is a truth. He can actually hold a team together. Over long exposure, you see why he is a backup. And I hate to really give kudos and credence to the Steelers, but hats off to them. They did win that game. My team had chances to win. We could not convert anything. It could be injuries, it could be, coach, it could be a number of things. Hopefully next year we get it right, we get better on things. It sucks to see Pittsburgh, go into the playoffs over us,
You're welcome, Pittsburgh.
How ironic that, in Ben's quote unquote final season, he wins his last game at home. He wins his last game in regular season to go into the playoffs. It is a nice way to go out. And we'll talk about if he's going to go out this round or not pretty soon, because now we have to talk about those who did make it, the faithful few. Somehow, some way, Green Bay got smacked by Detroit and still got the number 1 seed.
That's
and
funny.
Tennessee almost blew a 21-point lead and somehow backed into a 28-25 point win against the lowly Texans. And they captured the number 1 seed. It was a wild week 18 overall. If the Raiders and Chargers tied, they both would have made the playoffs.
Yeah. That was a crazy game too.
Sunday was crazy. I think Sunday
it was wild.
Yeah. And that game, that last game, Raiders and Chargers, that game was epic.
It was epic. It was.
This is what the NFL wanted when they wanted the last week of the season to matter.
Yeah.
Holy crap, did it matter? And like, this is the first time in years that it mattered. And it took an extra game and a crazy ass Sunday. I was glued to my TV, bouncing back in and out of games.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just pure madness.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I will never give. I mean, NFL. I know
won.
the
NFL won. They won.
It was an exciting Sunday, very entertaining, crazy. Sucked for some of us.
They got lucky and they cashed out good on that one. Again, welcome everybody who is a new better in New York. That was Sunday would have been a hell of a frenzy, to go into for your first week of betting or your first weekend of betting. It was definitely a wild one. And now we got playoffs coming up. So, things get a little bit tighter, a little bit more tense, a little bit more exciting. I know last year we had a couple blowouts during the wild card weekend. So that wasn't pretty exciting. I think this year's gonna be a little different though. I feel almost every game is gonna be competitive. Especially that last game, which we're gonna talk about soon. The first time ever in playoff, we got a Monday game. Had these two teams been playing that great, I would be more excited for it. But both teams have been kind of backpedaling, so I'm not too excited about Monday's game. But first, we got to get through Saturday. And Saturday, we got the leadoff game. the Raiders going into Cincinnati, another team that made it in my division, not us. The Bengals. Bengals, however, are a 5.5-point favorite. Raiders are a plus 188. Because it's my division that is hosting the game, I'm actually going to go on first about this one. I know I never go first. I usually delegate to somebody else first, but this time I'm going to go first. Get this one over with already. I can't believe the Raiders made it. I'm going to start off with that. I can't believe the Raiders made it. It's for all that they have encompassed and went through this year, for them to make it into the playoffs is a fantastic feat. I think everybody wrote them off right after the Gruden thing. We damn sure probably wrote them off after the Ruggs situation. But then I think, they're playing okay ball up until Christmas. But I think after Madden passed away, they kind of found a little bit more inspiration. And they've been slugging out in these games. They have not laid down. John's wife did give a good speech at that final game. And I mean, the Raiders they're just feisty. But both teams are very inexperienced when it comes to playoffs. And providing Joe Burrow can actually survive a full game, because the way his man's been getting banged up, Burrow may not even make it. If they make it past the Raiders, he may not even make it to the next round, the way he's been getting hit. Mixon, I trust more in Cincinnati's run game. I cannot say enough about Jamar Chase. I think overall the passing game is pretty great. So it really comes down to who I trust more, Carr or Burrow. I know I've seen Derek Carr play a lot, but I know I've also seen Joe Burrow go into a national championship game and win that too. So I know he knows how to play under those lights. He knows how to play in big game situations. Same for Jamar Chase. I'm actually going to go with Bengals in the win on this one. I think the Marvin Lewis curse is eradicated. I think Cincinnati goes on to win this game. Luke, what you thinking?
Yeah, man. I think this is Burrow's time. Man, they have an up and down season, but I don't think there's anybody on the Raiders that can match up with Jamar Chase. That man is playing lights out ball right now. You throw it up and he'll come down with it. Guy playing with stickums on his hands. I'm calling it out now. He definitely is. But I think this is a statement game. Cincinnati does break that curse. They win a playoff game. Shout out to Vegas for making it this far, because no one could have pictured them in the playoffs. Had they lost this game, it would have been like, all right, we know they were close, but this is what we expected after the season they had. So for them to be in the playoffs is an accomplishment within itself. I think David Carr needs to play stuff on display, because we got to figure out, because Vegas got to figure out, one, who's going to coach him, and two, is that coach going to work well with David Carr? If David Carr is the future. If not, you need to cash out and trade David Carr now, and then go into the whole rebuilding process, because you got to start from scratch, or get a coach in there that's going to take the team to the next level, which may be difficult. But yeah, like you said, I'm taking Cincinnati in this one. I think Joe Mixon is going to run amok. I think Burrows to Jamar Chase is going to be unstoppable. And this is going to be a closeout win for Cincy.
Any boy.
Well, I was coming into this one picking the Bengals. And you know what? They probably will win this game. But I'm going to take the Raiders on this. So I'm going to go on the underdog here. The Raiders are playing very well recently. They bottled up JT playing Indy. So they're playing the run game well. So I think they'll be able to manage Mixon. They have a good pass rush, and Cincinnati's line is not the greatest. So there's going to be pressure on Burrow. Ultimately, I think Burrow is the better quarterback than Derek Carr. So that's why I would, under normal circumstances, I would give the edge to the Bengals. But just Just for this one, I'm gonna go with the underdogs. I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think they're gonna pull it off. It's probably gonna be a close game by a field goal, probably, but it's probably gonna be a high scoring game. I can easily see mid-20s, 30 points each. It's just it can become a shootout real quick. Because they can both sling it, and Derek Carr has been throwing the ball well as well. And I mean, Jamar Chase and Burrow connection just can't say enough about that connection. I mean, those guys are great. So I really see a high scoring game, but I'm gonna ride the Raiders here. I think they have the momentum going in. They can, again, they've been playing better. They're running the ball a little better, so they can probably play a little bit, keep away better than they have early in the season. So I like their chances. I'll take the Raiders.
Somebody look out for that game. Double X, Max Crosby. That man is a freaking monster.
Yeah.
He's scary. He can get to the quarterback or he get in that backfield. It's going to disrupt a lot of things. On to the second game of Saturday. We got the third time this year. Patriots.
Rubber game.
Patriots. Bills. Woo!
Wow.
Bills are a 4-point favorite. Patriots are plus 172. If memory serves me correctly, the last time they played in Buffalo, they combined for all of 6 passes all game.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, 6 passes all damn game. That was a very tough, windy, snowy night. That definitely changed when they played up in Massachusetts. But who starts this one? Lou, what you thinking for this one, man?
Man, I think if Buffalo keeps Patriots out of their practices, they might be good. They're at Buffalo. Shots fired at the Patriots, but I don't know. They're expecting snow. Like Belichick just scares me in the playoffs. Like if I'm going against any coach, Belichick's the last coach I want to go up against in the playoffs. I'm gonna go with Buffalo on this one. My gut's telling me not to, but I'm gonna go rock with Buffalo on this. They got the home field advantage. Keep those practices doors closed. Working your stuff in the QB rooms and stuff like that, and wide receiver rooms. Don't put anything out there so they can be recorded. Do simple walkthroughs, and they'll be all right. I think Josh Allen needs to be on the field more than Mac Jones needs to be on the field. Because if the Patriots are on the field, they're gonna run that ball down their mouth, and then Mac Jones is gonna make those short 5 to 10-yard passes, 15-yard passes to keep that ball moving. So the more you can keep Mac Jones and that offense off the field, the better you'll be. Control the game, control the clock, and I think Buffalo squeaks this one out.
Who? Mac Jones. Ben, what you think, man?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one for me too. I like Josh Allen. I think he's very talented. He's definitely a better quarterback over McCorkle Jones there, but it's very hard for me to pick over Bill Belichick. I mean, they've already beaten this team. They can beat this team. Josh Allen this year has been a little bit of a roller coaster up and down. This is going to be a defensive game, basically. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Buffalo has one of the better defense. Patriots have one of the top defenses. So it's going to be a dirty game, just grinding. I think the Patriots force more turnovers. They bait Allen into some mistakes. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Just a couple of mistakes here and there. And I think the Patriots squeeze out a win with a field goal.
Man, I still don't know who I want to pick, to be honest. So this is going to be really off the rip for this one. Josh Allen has been here before. That's one thing that I think definitely plays a part into this. And I know I didn't say that early because, Carr had a playoff game and Burrow has it, but I think the fact that and Mac Jones did have a good run too. He was also in the national championship. But Josh Allen has been here before. That Buffalo team has been here before. The problem is that Buffalo team that been there before is not playing like this year's Buffalo team. It's and you're going against a damn great coach, one of the best coaches ever, Bill Belichick. He knows how to scheme. He knows how to plan things. He got that rookie quarterback who, in my opinion, is going to be offensive rookie of the year. Defense is playing top notch. Both teams, it's not going to go. It's definitely not probably going to be in the 20s. Both teams.
Pro tip, bet the under.
Definitely pro tip on that one. Damn. Considering it might snow again, it might be another run game. And we already seen what happened the last time it was an all run game. If I'm Buffalo, I'm praying away all that snow and hoping we can pass on them. Give them a chance. I'm actually going to go Buffalo on this one. It's tight, but I this is probably one of the most confusing games that I'm gonna probably be picking because it can go either way on this one.
Yeah,
like we really can teeter-totter on this one. There's no clear, even though Buffalo's a 4-point favorite, I still think it'll be a field goal. If you're gonna go on a point spread, definitely go +4 on Patriots because that one is definitely not going to be a 4-point win.
Yeah, I don't see no blowouts or anything like that either.
I mean,
take the under those points. I don't think they put up 44 points either.
Yeah, the over under is 44. It's not going to go 40.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we say that now.
Then they drop a 50 burger.
Watch it be 45, 50 or some bullshit like that. But yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. I think that's a great way to cap off Saturday night. On to Sunday, we got finally some NFC teams lose territory. Both Ben and I team are AFC teams, so into loose territory now. His hated Eagles are going into Tampa Bay. Tampa is an 8.5-point favorite. Philly is a +295. Oh boy. It sounds so insurmountable, but I also remember the Colts were a 15.5-point freaking favorite too. So going to that, Ben, what you think is going to happen for this game?
The difference here is Tom Brady. It's not Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? Usually the better quarterback wins in playoffs. If both teams are tight, usually the quarterback is the one that push you over the edge. And I feel like definitely Tampa Bay has the way better quarterback. There's no arguing that. I mean, but Philly's defense has been tricky. There's some games that they can really keep teams down. And even though Tampa Bay can struggle sometimes with the pressure, I still feel like there's just too much experience with Brady. He's just, playoffs. I mean, that's what he lives for. He lives for the pressure. 8.5 might be a little bit too much. I feel they win by a touchdown, but I don't think it's going to be like a huge blowout either. Because like I said, the Eagles can't play defense and they can't run the ball. That's one thing that they have. That's basically their identity now. They run the ball. They grind you down. They want to, ugly up the game. And I think they can do it, but ultimately just Brady, too many weapons. I think Brady wins this one. I take Tampa.
Philly's defense has been playing great. I will definitely admit to that. What's their coach name again?
Sirianni. Nick Sirianni.
Yeah,
he was our offensive coordinator. I kind of missed him.
since he took over, that team has been grinding hard, man. There's nothing I really can't say that's negative. Well, I can say something negative about Philadelphia as a city and as a fan base and as an organization, but but the Eagles have been playing pretty fierce lately. And Tampa Bay has, I don't know if it's just they're just trying to just play. They were just playing just to finish out the season. Like they didn't really care where they fell in terms of seeding. They just wanted to just get into the playoffs. Because that's the only way I can explain how Tampa Bay has looked over the past few weeks. Even to the point where the Jets almost beat them. Like that, I think really is just them just trying to just get there as healthy as they can. I think it's like it's hard to bet against Belichick in the playoffs. It's really hard to bet against Brady in the playoffs. I think the Eagles aren't. I think they're definitely not getting beat by 9 points. But I also don't know if they're going to win either. I would love to see the Eagles win. I would love to see Brady go out in the first round, but I also don't see Brady going out the first round either. No. So on that note alone, I like Tampa Bay to win. And I don't think the ghost of Antonio Brown is going to haunt them or whatever. Maybe they can get Kyrie and sage the place. I don't know, but you know, I think Brady and company move on to the next round. Lou,
I look at it this way. I look at up and down the NFC East, the NFC altogether. I don't think Brady's scared of anybody on the opposite side of that field. I don't see a team that puts a fear in his heart. I don't see Dallas doing it. I don't see San Fran doing it. I don't see the Eagles doing it. And I don't see Green Bay doing it. The only stumbling block I probably see is when he gets to the Super Bowl, if he gets to the Super Bowl, and it's an AFC team. So on that strength alone, yeah, Tom Brady looks like a man on a mission, and he's like 90 years old out there still busting ass. You know, we always thought it was the Belichick, like Brady couldn't do without Belichick. Brady's doing it. He did it. He won one without Belichick. He's going for a second. As good as the Eagles defense has been playing, I think Tom Brady's that quarterback that always finds a weakness and he picks at it and he'll pick at it and he'll pick at it. And then when you make an adjustment to compensate, he'll go to the other side and pick at it until you like, I don't know where to cover. I'm at loss. Like, I don't know where he's going. I wasn't ready. So on that strength alone, I'm going to take Tampa on this one. I don't think it's going to be more than a touchdown. I think the Eagles stay competitive in it. But again, Tom Brady's just too much for any team right now in the NFC to mess with. So I'm going Brady.
Particularly NFC East. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you look at it.
I don't trust none of the teams that come out of that.
Right. The only team that I trust going against Brady in the NFC East in the playoffs would be your New York Giants. But
yeah, but those are the Manning-led Giants. The Giants that we got right now. I can't listen. I wouldn't take my Giants team to beat the little Giants right now. All right.
Oh, man.
But you know what's crazy? If Brady does lose this game, he might just that might be his kryptonite. The NFC East might be his kryptonite.
Yeah.
I see more Dallas doing it than Philly though, because Philly doesn't scare me.
That's if Dallas makes it to the next round.
If Dallas makes it to the next round.
We're going to get to that right about now. On to the next game. San Francisco 49ers. Dallas Cowboys. This feels like a callback to the 90s, doesn't it? It has such a old school feel to it. Like this is essentially how our generation kind of grew up into Cowboys Niners. Like which out-of-state team do you really want to root for? Because that's all you used to see was Cowboys and Niners.
Yep.
But however, this time the Cowboys are a 3-point favorite. San Francisco was a plus 140. I think this probably would be one of the best matchups of the weekend. But is it going to be the best matchup for Dallas? Because San Francisco's coming in red hot. Ben, what do you think is going to happen on this one?
I feel like this is probably the best game of the weekend. I really like this game. And I see San Francisco winning this game. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans, but I do not see the Cowboys going past this round. Right now, San Francisco is playing great defense, and Cowboys have a good defense. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. I just don't see Dak overcoming the pressure that they're going to put on him. The run game can be stopped, because Zeke is not like killing it right now. He's just average, and Pollard has fallen off. Dak has been up and down. I mean, they've beaten up on bad teams. When they play bad teams, they win and they usually blow them out. But San Francisco is not a bad team. They're a really good team. The problem with them is they had injuries at first, and their QB was hurt. And I was still surprised Jimmy played. I thought Trey Lance was gonna play. If I knew Jimmy was gonna play, I probably would have picked them on a bet. I like Jimmy G more probably than some people do. I think yes, he's injury prone, but when he's healthy, he's pretty good. I mean, he got you to a Super Bowl. So I like San Francisco here. I think they're gonna win this game. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be an ugly game. I think the defense takes over, but in the end, I think Kittle is gonna bully some of those defenders, and he's just gonna do what he always does. He just somehow finds a way to get open for Jimmy G, and I think they're gonna. I say a field goal wins this game.
Yeah, I can see that coming. Lou, how do you think it's gonna fold out?
Yeah, I mean, I trust the Cowboys defense. I'm not sure about the Cowboys offense. And San Francisco sneakily has probably the best receiving core in the NFC. I mean, Devontae Adams gets a whole lot of praise. The Bucks were getting a whole bunch of praise with their receiving core. But quietly, San Fran, they got Kittles. Deebo Samuels is playing out of his mind right now.
Ayuk.
And you got the other guy,
Ayuk.
Yeah,
Ayuk is monster.
like killing it right now. On the low, very hush hush. And for San Francisco to have that many weapons, I think it's gonna be difficult for Dallas to cover. I know they got Diggs over there and they got Micah Parsons on defense, but San Fran comes at you from so many different angles. They move Deebo Samuels all over the field. He's a running back. He's out the slot. He plays the Wildcat sometimes. So if San Fran continues to mix it up like that and throw Dallas off their mark, it's going to be over before Cowboys realize what the hell happened to them. I think the Cowboys need to ease off of Zeke and go to Tony Pollard, because Tony Pollard has been playing out of his mind this season when he gets the ball. But then they go back to relying heavily on Zeke, and he falls into those same consistent traps. So I'm going to take the Niners on this one. They proved me wrong last week. They came to play. They put up or shut up, and they put it up. And yeah, I think this is one of those games where Dallas lets their guard down, and I think they have it. And then here comes San Francisco to punch them in the mouth. So I'm taking San Fran on this one. I'm probably on a +3. I'm definitely taking San Fran.
Yeah. It's funny. I was actually going with San Fran before any of y'all spoke. And now that y'all both spoke, I feel like, damn, I need to go for the Cowboys. But nah, still going for the Niners. Yeah, I'm still just going to make that one easy for myself. I'm still going Niners. I think the run game definitely goes to Dallas. I think Niners are still trying to establish that they can be a better running team. I still say that Mostert loss early was still hurtful for them. But they have definitely overcome a lot of things to be. It's a 10-7 season for them. And after they lost people early, you would have never thought that they were going to get to this level or even get to the point where it was a win or lose situation. And down, I forgot what they were down to the Rams, but to fight back. It literally took a Sean McVay running into the end zone celebration for the Niners to say, you know what, we're better than that, and fight back and do what they did. I think the defenses are kind of evenly matched. Dallas is better in the takeaway department, leaps and bounds better in the takeaway department, but I think Garoppolo can manage the game good enough to not throw too many picks. He has been in these positions before. He's been in Super Bowl. Like, he may not have won it, but he's been there. So, Garoppolo knows what it takes to get into this level. Shanahan knows what it takes to get into this level. So does McCarthy, but he has a lot more unproven commodities on his side of the field. And I like Dak. I think Dak, in essence, is a better athlete, a better quarterback overall. I just don't trust Dak. I trust Pollard, but outside of that, I don't trust the rest of the team. I think Niners are still just too good of a team. I think that them catching fire the way they have makes them not just scary for Dallas, but for everybody that they're going to face. I would love to see Niners and Buccaneers. I would love to see the Jimmy G Brady Bowl. I would love to see that.
That'll be fun.
That would be fun. And to Ben's point too, when Garoppolo is not hurt, he's actually pretty good. He's a decent quarterback. I think he's better than average.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have a young guy in the back waiting in the wings. We don't know what's going to happen with that, but I think we don't find out till next year what happens with that. Onto the Sunday night game, we got the old and aging Pittsburgh Najee Harris, Ben Roethlisberger Steelers versus the Pat Mahomes show Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, do we really need to spend time on this?
We need to spend a little time on this one. We're doing all the games, man.
we got to give Pittsburgh a little love.
Not when the quarterback says, hey, just go out there and have fun. We know we're the 14th worst team. Come on, the playoffs. You want to hear that from the quarterback?
I did. No, but you know what? I take that as they're playing on house money, bro. They don't care.
They're really playing the house money.
They don't care. They know they don't belong there. So it's like, whatever. We win, we win. We lose, we lose. They're just going to play.
Especially
that's a dangerous mindset, to be quite honest.
Yeah, especially when the Chiefs are a 12.5-point favorite. And the Steelers are a plus 530, excuse me. A plus 530. That's pretty big. Now, considering this is the playoffs, it's not regular season. I always take a jab at Ben's Colts for that one. Now I will definitely take a jab at Ben's Colts for that one from now on. But that's a pretty big mountain to climb, especially when on top of that mountain is Pat Mahomes, a former Super Bowl champion, very recent former Super Bowl champion. Hardman, Elvis Hilaire, that Andy Reid has definitely found his niche in Kansas City. The fact that team even started off so slow this year and to still be the freaking champs of that division is wild to me. Of course, we're just gonna give flowers to where we can give flowers to right now. Tomlin is a fantastic coach. One of the longest tenured coaches. Has been doing this thing. Roethlisberger is on his last legs. He's on his last toe. His name's not on his last leg. His man's on his last toe. Najee Harris is a beast, though. I will say that. But offensively, I can't find a receiver. I know they got them, but I can't find them. Defensively, they can do some things. They can cause havoc. That boy Watt, like I said last week, anybody who has a last name Watt, I said about the Bosa boys. Anybody who has a last name named Watt also is a disruptor. So, TJ is a monster on defense. I know they have some studs out there, in the Steel City, but I think this is definitely Ben's Roethlisberger, not my co-host Ben. I think this is Ben's last game. I think he goes out not on a blowout though. I don't see it being really a blowout. I think they're going to keep it somewhat competitive. I think Roethlisberger is just going to chuck it. Like, there really is nothing to lose. We all know they have nothing to. They're not going to win. I don't see them going out on a championship level. It's not a championship level team to me. I honestly don't think Kansas City makes it past the second round, but like that remains to be seen when we get to that point. But Yeah, I think KC just does this one. Just just stamps them out a little early. Lou, I know you said it's gonna be quick, so just go quick.
I mean, what can we say? Like, listen, I think the Chiefs heard Ben's comments. Is like, oh, okay, so we're gonna give you the ass whooping you came here to get. I think Melvin Ingram, he was traded from Pittsburgh to KC, and Thomason said they traded someone who didn't want to be there. I think Melvin Ingram was probably going to be the X factor on that defense to come up big. I mean, he had the game-winning, sack, fumble last week. I think the Chiefs are here to make business, to do their business. They didn't get the bye the way they wanted to. They had a struggle early on. I think they overcame those struggles. And in the playoffs, Pat Mahomes, a dangerous, bad man. Quick work. They win by 2 scores. Get them out of here. Cash in those flight points early.
What you thinking, man?
I generally agree with what you guys say. Yeah, I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They just have so many weapons. Offensively, there's just no match right now for Pittsburgh. They just can't match offensively right now. Ben is shot. I mean, he can't really throw it down the field like he used to. And that's what makes it really difficult for them. It's going to be difficult for them to win just because I don't think they'll be able to put up the points. However, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I do not see a blowout, actually. I feel like Pittsburgh can make the game ugly. They can. And they have a good running back, so they can play keep away as well.
Right.
The problem is that they just can't score. That's their problem.
The worst thing that would happen is him get injured on that field.
Yeah. So from what I say KC wins. They probably win by a touchdown. I don't see a blowout. It's going to be closer than what people think, just because of the defense. And I think as good as Mahomes and the Chiefs have been playing of late, they still not 100% right offensively. Mahomes still misses easy throws. Like, it's ridiculous of some of the games I've seen how he just misses some throws. So he's not playing his usual level. Even though it's still good, it's not what he's accustomed to doing. And they some teams have been able to play them well defensively. I mean, they've been able to keep them down. They just never been able to score enough. That's what's usually the problem. Some people just can't keep up with points. So yeah, KC wins this one, but I think it'll get a little bit ugly. I don't see a blowout. Definitely a win by a touchdown, but I see Pittsburgh they're playing with house money. They don't care. They're just gonna play their best as much as they can, and if they win, they win. They lose, they're okay with it. So I see them losing, but I don't see them getting blown out.
I think it'll be ironically poetic if, let's just say, it's fourth quarter, 1 minute, 55 seconds to go. 55 seconds to go. Pittsburgh is driving. Pittsburgh is trying to get that into field goal range, and then out of nowhere, Ingram picks off, or Ingram strip sacks Roethlisberger to seal the game. I think that would be so poetic if that happens. It just would be. But at the same time, I think, to Ben's point also, Najee Harris is going to be an X factor. I think you can run the ball against KC, especially if you're a competent running back. Into the finale, the first time in history, a Monday night playoff game that has not been a rescheduled game either. It's legit a Monday night game. Arizona, the early number 1 seed, going against the now number 1 seed in that division, the LA Rams. Like that was pretty wild how Cardinals are running away with the whole damn division, and then the Rams somehow, some way take that from them. But Rams are a 4-point favorite. Cardinals are a plus 168. This one's going to be kind of interesting. Lou, what are your thoughts?
Shootout. I see shootout written all over it. I mean that it's going to be a Monday. Shout out to the NFL because this is the perfect game to put on a Monday night. Two high-powered offenses. You know, Vegas had a crappy line of +4 for Arizona, -4 for Vegas for LA. So this is a pick'em kind of game. This is go with your gut kind of here. Over under 49.5. I think they go over on that personally. But I'm gonna say the Rams pull this out. I don't think they rely. I think Stafford. I think we see both sides of Stafford. We see that turnover side of Stafford, and then we see the all-pro side of Stafford. Now, which half? I have no idea. Because he's always a tale of two halves with Stafford. You get the Detroit Stafford, and then you get the LA Stafford. So you're hoping the Detroit Stafford shows up in the first half, and the LA Stafford shows up in the second half. I think Kyler Murray is going to be Kyler Murray and run amok all over this field, and it just comes down to who's. It literally is going to come down to whose kicker is best, who puts them in their team in that field goal range to win it at the end of because they're going to go back and forth, blow for blow, punch for punch. But yeah, it's going to come down to which Stafford shows up. Detroit in the first half or Detroit in the second half. He's gonna make an appearance. He's like the NFL Jekyll and Hyde quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, not one guy have that many weapons and then still fuck up that much and still win his division. Like, it's crazy.
It's Ben, here you go.
Yeah, this one was tough for me too. Like we said, Zona was killing it early. The only thing I'm leaning here towards Arizona, actually. I just can't trust Stafford. I don't know. You know what it is? I have to see him win because he's never won a playoff game. He still struggles at times, and come playoff times, it's crucial. You that mistake might come back and haunt you. So Zona has a good team. They're actually a better road team, and they're playing in LA. I like Zona here. I think they're gonna win it out. JJ Watt might be back for this game a little bit healthier. So they're gonna start getting a little bit more pressure again. They're gonna have their defense getting going a little bit more because now the pieces are all there again. I like Zona. I think that it's a good spot for them to bounce back. They're on the road. They play better on the road. And again, I cannot trust Stafford. I've tried. He looks so good sometimes in the half, like you said. Detroit half or not, it's like which one are you gonna get? And depending on which half he shows up, it could be crucial. If Detroit Stafford shows up in the fourth quarter, you're done for. I feel like Zona is gonna be able to keep up. Granted, they still don't have D-Hop, but I think they can squeeze out a win here. I like Zona.
Yeah. As tough as that Patriots Bills one was, this one is equally tough for me also, because both teams have not played to their potential lately. I think this could have been a Super Bowl comp matchup right here if both teams were playing up to their potential. I think Kyler Murray is definitely going to give us that Benny Hill show, run around, and cue the music, because that's exactly what Kyler does when he runs. His saving grace, AJ Green, has not had the best season, but that is his saving grace, because D-Hop, that loss for D-Hop is major. I think he could probably use Larry Fitzgerald at this point too. Arizona, LA. We always in Cooper we trust. He just finds ways to be open and get those yards and catch. I know they recently just signed Eric Weddle, which to me now I don't think that really matters. I don't think he really going to need Eric Weddle in this game anyway. Same for Luke. I cannot trust Stafford. I think we all said that too. It really is a matter of when is that blue from Detroit gonna come through his
Right?
chest?
I
Like
think he
that's like his
forgets
venom.
that blue he's wearing is not Detroit blue.
Right.
Like, is it like his venom symbiote suit? You know, like does it just feed through or something like that? Like it always seems to just look blue and gray, not blue and yellow at times. Stafford really just cannot be trusted. If it was a quarterback battle, I would definitely trust Murray over Stafford. But defensively, there's studs on both sides of the field. But LA over the past few weeks have shown when it came, except for the San Francisco game, they've shown that they can close out some games. And Von Miller is a fourth quarter monster lately.
Yeah, remember too, this is for them on the West Coast, this is a 5 o'clock game.
Yeah. It's early.
LA gonna have a lot of call outs on Monday. Ain't nobody working.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of financial situation they got going on in LA, but ain't nobody going to work for that. Or they're gonna be Zoom calling from the stadium. I know that's
There you go.
Green screen behind them.
It's so fast. Yeah, remember there was a dude.
Yeah, it was in the Ravens game actually.
Yeah.
The guy had a whole setup.
So there's gonna be a whole lot of people Zoom calling in from that game. All the Best Buys and all the retail stores will be closed at 4 p.m. because everybody's gonna be tuned into that game. I think it's gonna be it should be a great matchup. It may not go high scoring like it could be, like it should be, but I think both defenses are going to step up pretty major. Arizona definitely showed that they can shut down some teams. They did that with Dallas until the fourth quarter. LA showed that they can shut down some things. They did that until the Niners came back on them too. So, like I said, both teams just not playing to the potential. And I would have, if this was early in the year, I would have thought either of those two teams would have been in the Super Bowl. But the way they've been playing lately, I just don't know anymore. But that also leads into who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? I thought it would have been LA. I thought it may have been Arizona. Right now, in terms of winners, the Packers are the favorite. They're plus 380. Chiefs are right behind at plus 450. Buccaneers plus 750. And the last, and we all know who's last in odds. The Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 9,000. Plus 9,000. Yeah, that would be a hell of a come up if you actually bet on that. But in fact, $100 bet will land you $9,000 if you did that. But I would not advise you doing that at all.
Don't do it.
Oddly enough, the bottom three, actually the bottom four, Patriots, Eagles, Raiders, Steelers. So, fellas, who do you think is going to be the final two? Not so much the winner, but the final two.
Let's see.
I'm gonna go Buffalo, Tampa Bay.
I can see that.
Okay.
Ben?
This one's tough. I really don't want to see the Chiefs in there again, to be quite honest. Just too much people talking too much about them, like they're already the greatest dynasty that never has been.
Right.
I mean, they won one Super Bowl. Just relax a little bit. Maybe win two more. But I feel it's gonna be tough out of the AFC. So I would like to see the Titans, but I don't think they will. So I probably pick KC and Green Bay.
So, barring now, I don't want to leave myself an out, and I know it's going to sound like I'm leaving myself an out, so I won't leave myself an out. I'm just going to say in the AFC, Derrick Henry comes back. I think if Derrick Henry comes back, Titans definitely going to be in the Super Bowl. you have one of the best running backs, one of the most powerful running backs, and you give him fresh legs. Everybody else is beat down, battered, tired, sore, grueled through 17 weeks of football. And this man is coming back, granted from injury, a bad injury, but he's fresh. I I think that's kind of a cheat code. So and I think that cheat code is enough to make up for the inefficiencies of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Tannehill.
Tannehill, excuse me, Tannehill. Patrick, Tannehill, they look the same to me. They both inefficient as hell. But oddly enough, I think it's going to be Titans and Niners.
Wow.
I think Titans and Niners. I think that is going to be the Super Bowl matchup that we all did not ask for. I think here's why I'm not going Green Bay. I love Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. I think it's easy to hate him because his arrogance can make you easy to hate. But when it comes down to field goals, Mason Crosby, I stay away from that. I think he has cost a lot of people fantasy points. I think he's cost people some fantasy championships. I don't play fantasy sports, but I've seen Mason Crosby enough this year to know that this man is not what he used to be anymore. I mean, it looks like he's aged worse than The Weeknd. If you look at his new album cover, that's how Mason Crosby's looking right now. He's looking like Bill Russell out there. This man can't make field goals like that. I mean, I saw enough in week what was that, week 4 or 5? I forget which week it was, when it was that missed field goal matchup with Cincinnati and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And that was early. Mason Crosby has not improved since then. He hasn't got his legs back since. It's just got worse and worse. I think if it's going to come down to a kicking game, like something that's going to make you have to make a field goal, I can't trust Crosby that much anymore. I think this is his last year too. I think everybody's starting to see that. You know, you've had some people who have been solid through the years, Brady, Roethlisberger, Crosby, and we're just getting up there. Like the only difference is one person is still performing, kind of peak. The other two are just kind of they've shown signs of they just don't got it anymore. Like they're all the Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon, all right? They're getting too old for this. So but I think Titans Niners is going to be the matchup. Now, who wins? I don't know. I think in terms of who wins, I think Vrabel wins it. That's just my idea. I think Derrick Henry runs to that title. That's what I think may happen. He's just, especially if he gets like 3 weeks or 2 weeks of running into him, he's running away with that. But yeah, that's our predictions for this week. It's gonna be a nice weekend. It may not replicate week 18. Week 18 was just something you just cannot touch. That should be bottled up and put into the votes forever, because that the probabilities, the outcomes were just insane. You just can't get that anywhere else. I think the only time you get anything that has that many variables would be the last week in baseball. Like basketball, you don't even get, like, you get ideas, but you don't get anything like that. Especially now that you got the play-in situation for basketball, you may get some chances with the 7 through 10s, like to see who gets the 10.
And with basketball, seeding doesn't really matter. Like you don't get a buy.
Yeah.
No one gets a buy.
Yeah. So, and hockey, you don't get that either. Like, I mean, I like hockey. I don't follow it as often or much as I probably want to, but I know in football, like that last week, you can't replicate. That's solid. Auto racing, you get that too, because it's about chances. Like it's up to you. to get that win. I saw that actually in the F1 with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, which I'm trying to plan on going to a F1 race. I don't know if it's going to be the one in Montreal in June or Austin, Texas in October or Mexico City in October. But I want to go to one of those F1 races. I've been dying to go to one of those things. I prefer that over NASCAR. I know I'm not American enough, I guess, but I guess I'm trying to go to. I guess I'm trying to go back to where I came from, right? But yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend in football. Stay tuned. Get your popcorn ready, in the words of T.O. Shout out to T.O. I hope he gets a damn job again. I know he's still too old for this shit, but look, I mean, the T.O. hate needed to stop a long time ago.
I mean, Adrian Peterson got another job. Adrian Peterson got multiple jobs this year.
Exactly. You can't tell me T.O. cannot have got a job.
Right.
Like people who have made a whole thing about him. The fact that Antonio Brown got a job over him.
Marshawn Lynch came back and got a job.
Thank you. Like, and this man never caused like in there. Greg Hardy, I still hold on to that. Greg Hardy got another job in Dallas, and the man killed. And then man damn near kill people.
Yeah.
But T.O. has never been in trouble with the law or anything like that.
I mean, you put T.O. in context of distraction of what he did now to what players do now. T.O. didn't really do nothing.
That's light work.
Yeah, T.O. didn't do
But
nothing.
do you guys really think was still playing elite? I don't think.
I think he
like,
was a shot.
but the thing is, what I remember of T.O. the last time I saw him play, he was just not the same player anymore. There was not the separation that he used to have. He still had speed, but he just didn't have that much separation. So he was hardly getting targeted, hardly catching it. He was not doing much.
A toss-up pass, T.O.'s that guy to go do still. He can still do that.
I don't know. I think his time passed.
I think in terms of, I think he's a good possession receiver. Like he's not gonna burn you, with the Jets. Like I think in terms of just like if you need like a reception, like if you have a quarterback that can throw to the back shoulder, and because T.O. is a smart route runner, he knows how to do it. Like if you throw into like a spot, I know he can come down with that ball. I feel he can come down with that ball. I just don't know, like especially like a red zone situation where you really just need somebody that's strong and big enough to just fight off a defender. I think T.O. can do it.
I don't know. Just being away from the game for that long.
Like give him a workout. If he fails the workout, that's your proof right there. Like he can't cut it.
Like, I mean, he didn't do anything in Buffalo. I mean, so I don't know.
That was a terrible Buffalo team.
That's a terrible team, though. That was terrible.
Yes, but it's a terrible team. But if you're a good player, you still get your stuff. And he was at that point of his career, he was already fading. Don't get me wrong. I like T.O. and everything, but I just don't think he had it. Like he obviously feels like he still play at that level. I just don't see it.
In the same context, look at Odell Beckham Jr. He was on Cleveland, and everyone thought he was washed.
Yeah, but Odell's a younger guy. Odell's a younger player.
But everyone thought he was done. Everyone thought
I didn't think he was done. If you watch the games, you can see.
Touchdown, 8-9 games. Comes back in LA, he's tearing it up.
The only problem with Odell was he just gets hurt. That's his problem. When he's healthy, he's healthy. He's good.
That's his problem. But we're on T.O. until next week. So we'll come back at y'all for the second round. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. And hopefully all our picks come to fruition because we definitely picked different ones. Lou rocking with the Knicks right now.
We are up 15 right now. I take it.
So he'll take that. And we'll come back to another one. Until then, deuces.
Peace.